Hey guys, it's Miss Taylor.
And Miss Trian.
And we are the Character Education team. Today we are here talking to you about decision making. So like always, we always start our videos out with a couple questions to get you thinking about the topic. So our first question is, do your decisions affect other people? And the second one is it hard to do the right thing? So those are two questions, kind of keep in the back of your mind while we're talking and see if maybe we answer those questions for you or if you can answer them yourself.
Maybe talk about it among your class or even with your family.
Yep.
All right, so first of all, what is a decision? A decision is just basically a choice. A lot of times things will come up and you have two different options that you can take. And a decision is just picking one of those two options. Now, sometimes it's really easy to just make the right choice. We just know that it's the right thing to do. It's the thing that makes us feel the most comfortable. It's the thing that makes us feel the happiest. And we know that like right away. But sometimes it takes us just a little bit longer to figure it out. And that is because we're just not sure. We have to understand in our belly, is this the right thing to do?
Yeah, so maybe it's two choices or two decisions that either way they're okay, you know, so that makes it easier. Or maybe it's two decisions that you know the answer to or you've did before, you know. But then kind of those harder decisions are, what if it's two new things? Two things you've never did before. Two things you've never tried before. You know, there's a lot of different things. So we're hoping with all these character education lessons that making the right decision will become easier, you know.
It'll be quick for you and you'll just automatically know.
You'll just know. You'll be like, I'm comfortable with that. That's the right decision, or I want to try something new, whatever the positive way is.
So we also talk about flexibility in decision making. So something that's flexible, you think of like a rubber band. You think about something that your body stretches. You know, you're thinking, people say sometimes outside the box. So flexible thinking is when you're thinking of other possibilities or they affect your decision making.
So with a decision or a choice, a lot of the time, sometimes, you know, even though it's the best decision or your favorite, it can't happen. Whether it's something you can't control, so like a rainy day or something like that. So we have to be able to stretch our mind and say, okay, I can't do this anymore. What can I do that's also going to make me happy? So
and I have to be okay with it.
And it has to be the right choice.
One of the examples we came up with was recess. I mean, some people love inside recess when it's cold outside, and some people are like, just get me outside. Well, every once in a while in school, it's too cold to go outside, and you're so looking forward to the recess time. So flexible thinking would be, it's too cold outside, but I still get recess, even though it's going to be inside. So I'm just going to do something inside that I really love to do. So you're not letting it kind of give you a downer by any means. You're just
Exactly,
okay
because technically we could just decide that I'm going to be mad that there's inside recess and I'm going to sit at my desk and pout about it the whole time. Well, who's winning?
Right?
You're still inside. That's not something you can change. You still have to be inside. So you could either take the time and draw or do something that you really love, or you could sit there and pout. That's no fun.
Right. I'm going to decide then to try to find something that I love and make the best out of that situation. So another time is like when you want something different for dinner than is the choice that your family is making. You know what? Sometimes you just have to be flexible and you have to think to yourself, I'm just going to decide to eat this meal tonight, and then maybe I'll let my mom or dad know that I'd like to try something different another night.
Or depending on your family's rules, maybe you're old enough and, you know, my mom always said this is what we're having and, you know, I'm not going to make you anything new. But maybe you're old enough and you can say, hey, Mom, like, I know you shouldn't have to make me anything, but is it okay if I make myself a peanut butter and jelly?
Sure.
That's all communication. She may say no. And, you know, then maybe you'll just eat the corn or one part of the dinner you like. But that's the different versions of flexible thinking. It's not always just being okay with it, but it's offering solutions.
So there's 4 different steps to flexible thinking. Sometimes you have to just, number 1, take that deep breath and calm yourself down. Really take the deep breath before you decide to maybe get out of control and be upset about the situation.
Kind of like we talked about in our anger management and stress, if you've already watched that video, or if you remember from last year, is we can't do anything when we have all that anger inside of us, or we have all that sadness inside of us in this situation. Maybe you're not angry, maybe you're just sad because of recess or dinner. You know, so if you don't take a breath and just let that be okay. Say, it's okay I feel this way, but I need to let that initial shock or anger out before I do anything about it.
So number 2 is realizing some things are just out of your control. There are just some things that you don't get to make a decision about right away. And honestly, that's okay, because you'd get really tired if you had to make decisions all day long. Yep.
And then, and that's like kind of being an adult. You're always like, I want to be an adult, but eventually you'll be an adult and you don't want to make those decisions anymore. But sometimes even adults can't make decisions, such as like the rain, the rules, the laws, so those are the things that even mom and dads, grandma and grandpas can't control.
Number 3 is changing your plan. When you have flexible thinking, you're just okay with deciding to change the plan, like the example that we gave you about recess. And then number 4 is accepting the change. Somebody who has good character and understands that there's something that they can't control and that we just had to change the decision is going to accept that the change had to be made, and they're going to be proactive about taking control of their attitude and going along with it.
Absolutely. So sometimes we talk about decisions can be hard. Not only do you not want to, maybe you just don't know. But with this activity today, we're going to talk about making decisions as a group. So the scenario, we're going to give you a couple scenarios, and your class or your teacher will decide what scenario best fits your class.
We'll give you a chance to pause the video so that you can actually do the activity, and then just rejoin us when you're ready.
So,
for our second through fifth graders, we are gonna send you on an airplane. Oh my gosh. And the airplane lands in the middle of nowhere. You have to get together in a group of 3 to 4, and you have 10 minutes to decide out of our list what things as a group you would want to take from the plane before it catches on fire. So you guys all have to work together to come to that conclusion. So Miss Taylor's going to read our list.
So you either get a case of water, a fishing pole, matches, a communication radio, a tent, or a blanket. Now remember, with this scenario, think about that flexible thinking. So a good example would be, and you could use this one, is let's say one of your people in your group are really like, we need a tent, like the weather, the tent. Well, if you look, it says blankets. So that indicates that maybe you might get more than one blanket. So maybe you could cover up with one and you could make a tent out of the other one. So it's that flexible thinking. It's really, thinking about what's the best for us as a group, what, will be the right answer for all of us.
Yep, and everybody gets to get included in that decision making, which is really important. So our next scenario is that you all get to go on a picnic as a class. So you get in groups of your 3 to 4, you're going to go on a picnic as a class, and you get 10 minutes to decide which 3 things that you want to take. And again, everybody has to decide these together. So here are our options.
So we have a pizza, sandwiches, pop, a ball, a blanket, or sidewalk chalk.
That sounds like a lot of fun.
It does.
Those are good things.
So it's that decision of, do we want food? Do we want to play? Do we want somewhere comfortable to sit? And that's something you guys are going to have to talk about and see what's important to everybody.
So right now what we want you guys to do is your teacher's going to break you up into groups of 3 or 4. You guys are going to pause the video, take between 5 and 10 minutes to make your decisions, and then go ahead and come back to us, and we'll see how you did.
All right, well, welcome back.
Yeah, how was
fun?
that? I bet it was fun.
It probably was.
I would have liked to hear all that. So let's think about some ways that you guys used your flexible thinking. How did you guys decide what you were going to take and what you were going to leave behind on either of the scenarios?
Yes. So, was it a hard choice? Was it super easy? Maybe you got paired up with some people that think the same way as you. Maybe you all just wanted to take the fun toys and some pop to the picnic and you weren't really worried about what you had to eat. Or maybe your group, really was like, you focused on what you thought was important and had to use really good communication skills. I'm sure a lot of different things happened during that conversation.
The point is, there was a lot of decisions that got made. Not only were you being flexible and listening to other people's ideas, but you had to make the decision of being a good friend and listening to other people's opinions. You had to make the decision to let someone else decide what got to be taken, even if you had a different opinion. And you got to decide to work together or not. Because in some of these situations, there might have been somebody who just didn't take part in the activity. So what happens? They miss out on the fun. Their voice is not heard, but it was still their decision, and that's something that we have to think about.
So your character check this week will be kind of fun too. It's going to have you bring in some new things in your life maybe, but we want you to start practicing making small decisions. So maybe it's just choosing a healthier snack. Maybe it's going to bed earlier than even mom or dad or grandma and grandpa ask you to. Maybe it's just you're really trying to work on those manners. A lot of different things. But the easier it is for you to make small choices, when these bigger choices come up, it's going to be a lot easier to make the right decision.
Not to mention, you are building those character roots. So you're going to be making great decisions, and they're going to be done faster because you're just going to automatically kind of know what a person would do who has integrity, who is fair, who is caring, right? So you're going to have confidence in those decisions, and you're going to make the right one for you much faster.
Yes. So we always bring it back to those two questions. We would like to think you would have a different answer. Or maybe you answered right the first time. We'll have to see. But, so the first question is, do your decisions affect other people? You have to think, did the way I acted about that, activity, did it affect the people in my group? Did I make the right choice? Something to think about. And is it hard to always do the right thing? In that activity, was it hard to maybe just let your opinion go and let someone else make the choice? I don't know. Maybe it was. All right. Well, we will talk to you next time. See you later.
Have a great week.